Hello, 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 beautiful conscious creators. I hope that you have started your day with nothing short of health, wealth, peace, love, and light. As we explore healing and conscious creation together in this space, I hope that you'll remember to be kind and patient with yourself and your thoughts. Song recommendation for the day. Look, I've been recommending this guy in a lot of episodes, but I really enjoy his music, and I think I'm in the season of his music. So every once in a while, his name will keep popping up, and it's Jordan Rakai, and the name of the song is Signs. So also, if you hear any music or like just background noise, people talking, there's a lot happening outside. But for the rest of us, I feel, okay, let me put it this way. I feel as someone that is in the process of creating and trying to develop a consistency in what I'm doing. I'm in the discipline of creating the work and putting it out and trying to put it out on time, because actually it's one of the goals that I have, because it's the 100-day, as based on the overall title, the umbrella title of this whole series, including the affirmations. It's just 100 days of affirmations and just sharing, the things that I'm sharing with you today. So yeah, with that, I am still gonna record, even though there's like noise outside, even though there's like a party happening. I want to make sure that I'm still being consistent, and because I am enjoying what I'm doing right now, and it's a new chapter for me, and I just want to give as much as I have learned and received throughout the years of my life. And I'm obviously not going to cover everything, but as much as I can share with you, as much as I can help you to shift your perspective, as much as I can share in terms of the things that can maybe open your eyes to things that maybe you didn't recognize or see or understand in the beginning, it would be it feels really awesome for me. So if you hear, the point is, if you hear things in the background, just know that like my aunt is having a chat with her friend. Sorry, I don't know if the music is still playing out there, but if it's not, sorry, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Also, last thing, another side note, isn't my afro looking too good in this episode? Like, look at it, I wasn't looking too cute with it. And I have to take advantage of it, because it's hardly ever like this. Like, I have to it's a whole journey, but having this kind of hair, it's like, sure, Jesus. So I'm making the most of the afro that I am wearing today. Not wearing, it's my own hair, but it's like, it hardly ever looks like this, so I'm taking advantage of it and making the most of it. Anyway, to get into today's episode. So in the past few episodes, I have been exploring the idea of manifesting specific people and how it is possible. But for me personally, I do sometimes manifest specific people, but what I want you to know in terms of, also, just to elaborate on those past episodes, what I want you to know is, even though I do sometimes, and it's very very far and few in between, it happens after a very long time. When I do that, it is more so about, because sometimes you'll look at a person from across the room, right? And you'll feel a certain, I don't want to say connection, because we are connected to the people that are closely related to us, the people that we have had interactions with. But you do sometimes feel drawn to those people that, are just in the distance. And what I want to talk about is that what you need to understand in manifesting specific people, when they do show up in your reality, you also need to have a certain level of discernment about whether or not they do align with what it is you're looking for, who it is that you are, and how they are serving you and you are serving them in return. Because yes, maybe there was something that drew you to them, right? And a lot of times the things that draw us to people could be the fact that they will add value into our lives as much as we will add value into theirs. And it could also be that there is something about them that feels as though maybe we are looking towards becoming, or there is a certain part of ourselves that desires to see that the serenity or the calmness in whoever it is that we're looking at, based on just their aura and their energy and like whatever it is that we feel drawn to. But this discernment, having the discernment to know whether or not those people actually fulfill that role, is also just as important. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Is also just as important. Because, okay, I'm going to explore the idea also of relationships, because it makes it easier to understand when I'm using the example of like a relationship. Say for instance, you are drawn to that person, and not necessarily a relationship for dating or like being, you know, in a relationship. No, that's not the right dating. And not necessarily like the idea of dating them or like, you know, exploring that type of relationship with them, but more so being drawn at them, being drawn in by them, being drawn to them. Sometimes those people that we are drawn to reflect back to us the things that we desire to possess in ourselves, right? And we also in ourselves project things onto them based on just their energy and their aura. And when they come into our lives, if they do happen to share experiences with us, it's also important to discern. This is where now the discernment comes in. It's also important to discern if they actually truly align with what it is we have seen them to be. And what I mean by that is, sometimes in our projections, we will project maybe a quality in them. A quality that, as an example, we can project kindness in them. We can project like just hardworking energy in them. We can project whatever it is maybe that we desire to see in ourselves, because it is easy to project things onto people that we don't know. And if those people do sometimes possess those qualities, it's easier for us to feel that energy in them. It's like, you know, when someone walks into the room and you know that, like, you feel as though they're confident, but it's not because you're just feeling that they're confident. That person exudes the confidence. So those people will radiate those qualities that we see in them. But once they come into our lives, the discernment of whether or not they do belong in our reality, whether they do belong in sharing experiences with us, because not everyone is supposed to be in our experience. Maybe they highlight something in us that we need within ourselves to explore, but not necessarily them being in our reality. So it's important for us to discern whether or not those people live up to the alignment that we see in them, live up to what it is that we are projecting onto them. And if they don't, maybe it's not about them being in our lives, but more so about what it is that we within ourselves are supposed to explore. So the things that we are projecting onto them, the things that we are seeing in those people, those, you know, enigmatic, what is the word? I think the word is enigmatic. It's like they radiate something. They radiate and we feel it. You don't know how to put it into words, because you know you're feeling that thing, but it's not something that you can describe. So maybe that in which they are radiating is not necessarily supposed to be them coming into our lives, but them reflecting back to us what it is that we in ourselves need to start shining within us. We need to start exploring within ourselves. We need to start looking at and also affirming within our lives, because the things that also we desire to become, the things that we desire to attract, we will oftentimes, if we think about it a lot of times, we will often see it around us, right? We will say, for instance, you're manifesting a red car. I don't know, there's a red car theory around there. I don't remember the theory verbatim, but if you're manifesting a specific car, right, if you're trying to consciously create a specific car, suddenly you'll start seeing red cars all around you. So in a similar fashion, when those people that radiate the things that we desire to possess in ourselves, when they show up, it's not always, it's about discerning that it's not necessarily always about them, us wanting to have them in our lives, but more so about exploring what it is we're looking for, that feeling that we are yearning for in our lives. It's about us exploring that feeling within ourselves. So it's important, and of course it's awesome to meet new people and, call those people in, because maybe they can teach us about the things that we are looking to embody within ourselves. But maybe it's not necessarily the case with everyone. So the point behind this episode is that when we are drawn to people and they radiate a certain something, I can't put words to it because only you can feel it. A lot of the things that I teach, a lot of the things that I share are solely based on what your experience in the world is. And as much as I'm sharing from my perspective, it's about you exploring within yourself what it is that you are seeing and feeling within yourself. So when those people walk into the room and we feel their presence and we feel whatever it is that they are embodying, and there's something about them that is drawing us in. Excuse me. Sometimes it is those qualities that they are radiating so much that we also desire to explore within ourselves. So in understanding and having that certain discernment, that not certain, but in having that discernment and of understanding that not everyone needs to be in our lives. Okay, actually, before I close this episode, I wanted to keep it short, but sometimes you'll meet your hero, sometimes you'll meet someone that you've always admired. But it's not about that specific person. It's not necessarily about that specific person. It's about what they embody that we desire to see in ourselves. And you hear all the time, maybe you shouldn't meet your heroes. But our heroes reflect back to us the potential that we possess within ourselves. We won't have the same heroes. We won't have the same desires. And I've said this in previous episodes. We won't have the same things that we are attracted to as different individuals. So by having the things that we within ourselves desire and see in other people, it's an opportunity for us to explore the thing that is radiated by them, to explore that thing within ourselves. And in knowing that and understanding that and having that discernment that not everyone needs to be in our lives, but us understanding that people will show us who we desire to be at times, who we desire to see within ourselves, who we desire to see in the mirror, then we have this opportunity where we can know that sorry, I'm sorry, I got so lost in my trail of thought, but who we desire to see in our lives. So we have this opportunity, we have the opportunity to explore that thing, whatever we see outside, within ourselves. Yes, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. My name is Oiking, and I am your accidental therapist. Mwah!